Welcome to the Louie Bellina Show. Monday, we start a new week together. Welcome to the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Let me share with you, we call it the Blueprint. It's how we do between now and 2 o'clock. At 11:35, it's a listen-in, Aggie Baseball, the weekend that was. We will listen to Shane Sdao after his brilliant, and I mean brilliant start Friday. Sdao Farr playing hero, and he was the MVP of Saturday. Both of those games, I think you know, was a walk-off. Olsen magic for Aggie Baseball over Penn. And we'll listen in to Michael Early as he addressed the media after the win and the sweep on Sunday. So 11:35, it's a listen in, Aggie Baseball. 11:55, high school sports update, thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. And that is an every Monday, 11:55, Friday, 11:55 thing here on the Louie Bellina Show. On Mondays, we'll look back at the weekend that was for Bryan, Rudder, A&M Consolidated, College Station High, the Brazos Valley. High school sports update, 11:55. Straight up, 12 noon, we'll head out on the D4 Land Services hotline, and we're going to hang out with Mitch Light of The Athletic, and it's the college baseball roundup. See, Mitch is an editor at The Athletic, and when we hit spring, he does their college baseball roundup, their top 25 and news and notes from all across the country, college baseball. I love it. Mitch loves college baseball too. That's 12 o'clock each Monday here on the Louie Bellina Show. At 1:35, I got to listen in. Bucky McMillan post-win over Oklahoma. Aggie Saturday went up. Yeah, I'm doing that right. Up to Norman and beat the Sooners for the second time this year. Bucky Ball got the job done last week. They beat two teams they had to beat. And I'll give you this. Joe Lunardi, bracketology, Aggies are no longer bubbly. They just beat two teams they had to beat, two bad teams. They are no longer bubbly. They're not last four in. They're not last four buys. They're not a bubble team anymore. That's taking care of business. So all of that, there's a couple other things. You'll get a chance to register, make the finals for a pair of tickets to go see Creed at the Houston Rodeo. And that is all thanks to Grocholski Sausage Company. And every day this week, someone else will move to the finals. I'll register one person. Listen in. I'll throw up the bat signal. I'll tell you when. You can text me at any time today about anything. And right now, we're in this beautiful, beautiful, glorious time of the year. Aggie baseball, Aggie softball, Aggie basketball is making the march to March. We got 13 Aggies heading to the combine this week. So NFL draft, you can text me about anything. If you're an MLB fan like me, spring games, don't text me about spring games. But you could text me about the upcoming season. I'm cool with that. You could text 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. And you can light up the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox. Texas Mobile One Lube Express, owned by Gabriel Garcia. 979-693-1150. We'll begin Aggie hoops. Bucky Ball, they go to Norman, pick up the dub, 75-71. You know how we always say it wasn't as close as the score, it was closer than the score? Aggies never trailed. Aggies had a lead as big as 11, 13 at one point. So it's a 4-point game. Sometimes the Aggies have that hard job of finishing. And Ags were up, was it 9 or 11, right about the 5-minute mark. OU went on this run. Aggies couldn't get a stop. They couldn't make a bucket. And down the stretch, the Aggies did enough to win, but they never trailed. It was always obvious who the better team was. And the Aggies only had two players in double digits. Agee goes for 18. Griffin goes for 14. That's it. The Aggies just were the more consistent team on the night. The Aggie defense played well until kind of that finishing stretch. But the Aggie defense played well. Anytime they don't have to go up against that taller, more physical matchup, which unfortunately, there's a higher percentage of teams that are taller and more physical. But when they don't, the defense really can carry the day. Offensively, 75 points against a less height advantage team and a less physical team is not that impressive. A&M shot fairly well, 44% overall, 40% from three-point land. But again, if you watched, seemed to struggle to find threes to take. Attack the rim, that backdoor cut was the order of the day, and they just destroyed OU on that interior passing. It was fun to watch. But this is not the most layup efficient team you've ever seen. Shot 55% on free throws. Very odd, because I don't know if this is the greatest free throw shooting team you've ever seen, but they're better than 55%. But in the end, they got it done last week in total, going 2-0, which they had to. It was two of the worst teams in the SEC. You entered the week on a 4-game losing streak. And they took themselves, I mentioned this just a second ago, off the bubble. I took a look. Lenardi bracketology. They're not on the last 4 byes. They're not last 4 in. They're just in the tournament with 4 games to go. Week ahead, well, tough week ahead. At Arkansas Wednesday, Texas, who seems to have figured a couple of things out. Saturday, Reed Arena. It's going to be a tough week ahead. If you just go 1-1 on the week with LSU, which equals a 4-2 finish on this last 6, you don't have to talk about how many wins you want in the SEC tournament. You don't have to talk about anything. If you go 1-1 on the week with LSU in the last game of the year, even though I will tell you this, never count your chickens before they hatch when you go to Baton Rouge. That's just, never sit there and feel too comfortable about that storyline. By the way, back to Lenardi and bracketology. Auburn is on last 4 byes, and Missouri is on that last 4 inline. SEC, just a little heads up. It's fun when the Aggies get to play defense. It's just, again, the matchups we're talking about, height and strength. And normally they're at the disadvantage. When they're not, you get to see them make some plays. But they got the win. And Saturday night after the game, I kind of tweeted it out. At this time of the year, all teams are beat up. All teams are tired, physical and mental. That's the story of the grind, right? You kind of don't care anymore. You really don't care how you win. And you kind of don't care how you lose either. All that matters is the final score. Just win, and that's it. And that's what A&M did last week. How they rallied to get the win, against Ole Miss, a game that looked like it was going nowhere in a hurry. Don't care. OU was simple. They led the whole way. They even did the pull away, but in the end, the finish, OU tried to make the furious charge, held them off. It doesn't matter who's got the hot hand, the cold hand. Just figure it out right now. Just win. And again, split next week. If you can't win at Fayetteville, you got to beat Texas at home. And it's Texas, so, just beat them, period, is kind of a nice philosophy in general. Don't need any other higher motivation. Beat Texas, hold them off. LSU at the end, 2-2 down the stretch. They go 2-2 down the stretch. They hit that 11 wins. It's not a question. There's no bubble. There's no, you need 1 win in the NCAA tournaments or 2 wins or anything. I think they're in safely at 10-8. Others keep saying 11. Fine. All they have to do is go 2-2 down the stretch. That's 11, and no one will question it. And Bucky McMillan will take this team, year 1, inheriting 1 player late in the portal process to the NCAA tournament in year 1. Absolutely just amazing. Unbelievable. Coach of the year. SEC minimum. National consideration needs to be there for doing that kind of job, in my opinion, the way I see the universe. Took a look. It's kind of amazing to think about. Aggie basketball preseason picked 13th in the SEC, and they're in 5th place alone. They are in 5th place all by themselves. 9-5. 9-5. They are in 5th place alone. Florida's first. They lost to them. Alabama's in second. They lost to them. Well, there's a big four-way tie. Is it 3? I'm bad with math. Yeah, 3-way tie for second place. Alabama, Arkansas, Tennessee. You lost to Bama and Tennessee. You play Arkansas on Wednesday. And that kind of makes sense, doesn't it? You're in 5th and you've lost to 3 of the teams in front of you and you're going to play the other one. But preseason, with 4 games to go, 2 weeks, finish. We've heard Elko talk finish, and Bucky himself in certain games this year, he's talked finish too, right? Finish. 2 weeks to go. And finish for them just needs to be 500 even. And the mission's accomplished, which is the NCAA tournament, which should have been a pipe dream for the way this went. Again, I just looked at the standing. I don't know about you. If you're an Aggie basketball fan, this has been a fun ride. I think it's a borderline unbelievable kind of ride. There's been some incredible wins. There's only been 2 like, oh man, put your head down kind of losses, which I thought there'd be a lot more in year 1, where there was nights where buckyball just didn't work. Logan Lee and I talked about before the season even started, where there were just going to be nights where nothing was working, and it is what it is. Hate that expression with a passion, but really, you thought that's what it was going to be. Nope. Oh, there could have been more, but yet you've gotten so much more than you ever could have hoped and dreamed for. No, this has been absolutely, I keep going back to that, just amazing. There's another way to put it. Finish. 2-2. You take a look, going inside the numbers, the minute rotations, other than about 2 players, you could tell he's trying to get as much as he can out of the bench, the second 5 that had the lower minutes as possible. Zach Clements' minutes getting way bumped up, and he's been playing very well recently. Aggie got back up to almost 30 minutes in this one. Had to. I also think the style, because OU was less taller and physical, Aggie didn't have 3 players that were 10 foot leaning on him the whole game, and you could play Aggie more. So you just look at the way he's trying to get them down the stretch, because you got to push to make the tournament. You'd sure hate to make the tournament and just have everything be on dead E. If you reach 11 wins and the SEC tournament means absolutely nothing, is it worth it to go home for a week and rest up for the NCAA tournament? I don't know. I don't know how you approach that. Is it worth it to go home? I'm serious when I say this, and rest for a week. Then push to win the championship in 4 games in 5 days, or whatever that cycle, 4 games in 4 days, whatever it ends up being for a team that is tired, was tired all of 4 days ago, or rest up for the NCAA. Things to consider. If they can take care of 2-2, hit that 11th win, not worry about bracketology or anything of that nature. 979-693-1150. That's my text message number. We're just beginning. And what is on your sports mind? USA Hockey beats Canada, gold medal. Oh, you could pick either one because they did it in men and women's. Aggie basketball, the 2-0 week. They had to have taking care of business. And that's been the secret to buckyball year 1. No bad losses. Think SEC play. No quad 3s, no quad 4s, beating the teams that won't be in the tournament, beating the other teams that are on the bubble of the tournament. Except for Missouri. That's the bizarre one. There's Missouri on that last 4 in. That's the only non-bubble. Now, it was a game they should have just hit their layups, but still, they've taken care of their business. Easily. Aggie baseball, sweep. What's on your sports mind? You could text 979-693-1150. When we return, we're going to switch on over, stay maroon and white, go to Aggie Baseball, and more. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. This is the Louie Bellina Show. It's a new week. It's Monday on the Zone. Computers.
This is Bryan College Station's only all-sports station, The Zone. 1150 AM and 93.7 FM.
The Louie Bellina Show from inside the Charles Schwab studio. We're just getting started. Some of the things, set an alarm. Some of the things you're looking forward to, 11:35. I got to listen in Aggie Baseball, Sdao from Friday, Farr from Saturday. Michael Early wraps it all up after the Sunday game, 11:55. High school sports update, thanks to Kelly Burke-Dozer. 1:35 will be a listen-in buckyball. Also, your chance every day this week. Going to register one more person. You move forward towards the finals. A chance to win Creed tickets to the Houston Livestock Show and Rodeo, thanks to Groholski Sausage Company. Groholski Sausage Company with 2 locations. They've both on South Main Street, but one's in Bremont, the other's in Calvert, both on South Main Street. So listen in, you'll have a chance. I'm saying there's a chance. Yes, I'm saying there's a chance. Let us. Aggie Baseball hosted Penn, 3-game series over the weekend. It was a sweep. Doesn't get better than that. That's called perfection. Remember Friday? I think even Thursday, right? What did Lou want to see? Home run derby, improved pitching. Well, 1 out of 2. And that one, it wasn't improved pitching. It was pretty flawless, pretty much perfection pitching. They did not walk a batter the entire weekend. Matter of fact, they did not walk an entire batter the entire week. It was 4 straight games without walking a batter. That's just hard to do in general. Absolutely incredible, mind-boggling, holy cow, phenomenal to do. That was awesome. We will start with the sweep yesterday. Aiden Sims in 7 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, struck out 10. He has been dominant in his first 2 starts. Career high 7 innings. Career best strikeout total of 10. And then Josh Stewart in relief only gave up a hit in his 2 innings of work. The 2 combined for 9, 4 hits, 11 Ks total. 7-1 the final. Aggies win. And I said the pitching was improved. You'll hear this. Again, 3 games, not a single walk. 3 games, they gave up, 3 runs? 1-0 Friday. 2 runs. My bad. Ooh, need to be careful. 2 runs total in 3 games without giving up a single walk. And to understand the A&M offense, realize Harkopian did not play. Sorrell was only seen as a defensive replacement over the weekend. There's explanations for the offense. The top of the order, when healthy, is as good as any in college baseball. They were extremely not healthy at all, with Sorrell basically effectively out Saturday, Sunday. Harkopian did not play. So, yeah. Oh, and then Wesley Jordan got out injured over the weekend too. So there are explanations for the offensive woes with players missing from the offensive lineup. But the pitching was absolutely perfection. I know they could have allowed no runs, but I'll let you complain about that. I'm not going that direction. Shane Sdao set the pace on Friday. 7 innings, 3 hits, obviously no walks, 7 strikeouts, bullpen, Darden, scoreless inning. Josh Stewart, again, a scoreless inning. Did not allow a hit. Stewart got the win in relief. And Friday, Saturday were both walk-offs. It was bottom of the 9th on Friday. It was extra innings on Saturday. Only 4 hits in total in the Friday game. Aggies win. Sdao, 7 Ks, 7 innings. Remember, that's only his second start in, I don't know, I guess if it was 642, 7 days later, 649 days. Saturday was the story of Sawyer Farr, who, again, you say Olsen Magic down to a strike in the bottom of the 9th, ties it, bases loaded walk, bottom of the 11th, the dub, 2-1 final, drive home safely. And again, Saturday was the no Hercopian, no Sorrell. Weston Moss, 6 innings, the run was unearned, he gave up, struck out 8. Bullpen, nails. Because, we're looking at the starters, who are nothing short of magnificent. Don't forget to include the bullpen, too. Juan Vargas, 3 scoreless, only gave up a hit. Clayton Freshcorn, 2 scoreless, gave up nothing. Not a hit. Struck out 2. Freshcorn got the dub in relief, but Sawyer Farr, hero. Again, down to a strike, and then bases loaded, the walk-off walk. Aggies go 3-0 versus Penn. You didn't get home run derby. Top of the order, 2 out of 3. Out over the weekend. Another injury affecting your offense. They got through it. They got undefeated. They're unscathed. Survived. D1 baseball, top 25. Aggies started the year 25, moved up to 24. Now they're 23. When you take a look at the D1 baseball top 25, 6 of the top 6 of the top 10 SEC. LSU 2, Texas 3, Mississippi State 4. Arkansas 6, Auburn 7, Florida is 10. 6 out of the top 10 teams in the country, according to D1 Baseball, are SEC. Taking a look at the rest, Georgia 11, OU is 13, Tennessee is 20, Kentucky 22. There's A&M at 23, and debuting in the D1 Baseball top 25, Ole Miss was 25, just now entering, first time in the polls. Up next, Aggie Baseball, Lamar midweek Tuesday, and then they're going to head down to Globe Life, little tournament action, where they get Virginia Tech on a Friday. The number 1 team in the country, UCLA, is Saturday, and they'll wrap up play at Globe Life taking on Arizona State on Sunday. Virginia Tech is 6-1. William & Mary swept them on the opening weekend. They faced Rutgers this past weekend. They lost the Friday night game 16-1 in 8 innings and ended up rallying. They took Saturday, Sunday, 9-8, 4-3. So got run ruled and then took a couple of 1-run games over Rutgers. UCLA, as I said, number 1 team in the country. Mitch Light, when he joins me at 12 o'clock, College Baseball Roundup, we'll talk a lot more about UCLA, who the Aggies square off against Saturday down at Globe Life. And the Sunday matchup, Arizona State, is a perfect 7-0 on the season. Opening season sweep of Omaha. Then over the weekend, they swept St. John's. And it is going to be a very busy week. Arizona State is coming to Texas early. Well, no, they're not. They're coming down towards Texas because they're going to play in Norman and take on OU Tuesday, Wednesday, then down to Globe Life for Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And they play A&M, obviously, on the Sunday. So Arizona State, 7-0. Norman single game Tuesday. That's OU. Sooners Tuesday, Sooners Wednesday, both in Norman. Travel day Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday at Globe Life. So tests ahead. Test ahead for Aggie Baseball. Yeah, all 3 days. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out. So in about 6-7 minutes, we have our Aggie Baseball Listen-In with Sdao post Friday, Farr post Sunday, and Early wraps it all up after the sweep on Sunday. So that's coming up here in a couple of minutes. Some of the text messages, I'm looking at the Texas Mobile One Lube Express inbox. Northwind at Olsen changes everything. Not one walk to Penn in 29 innings helps. Great freshman, could be a great year. We've got, let's see, Lou, games 1 and 2 approach at the plate was frustrating, but game 2 early post-game was very encouraging, and Sunday looked better. We've got, after TU lost to Georgia, they are 8-6. They play Florida, Arkansas, A&M, and OU. I'm seeing a scenario where Texas A&M beats TU to lock us in the tournament and keep them out. I like that scenario. I would have no problem if next Saturday, Reed Arena, A&M beats Texas. Again, A&M 2-2 in the last 4, beat Texas, LSU. And that's men. They can go 4-0. I'm not going to say, hey, punt the other 2, but beat Texas, LSU. You're at 11 dubs before the SEC tournament even starts. Your money, you're golden. You're done. You're in. And Texas, who, you know, they got Florida, Arkansas, A&M, and they go 1-3 down the stretch. They'd be 9-9, and then they'd be out. And, oh, that would be heartbreaking if A&M's kind of the dagger. That would be heartbreaking. A couple of more text messages. What about USA Hockey? Yes. May the hockey gods shine upon you, USA, whoop. That's just some of the samplings of what's inside the Texas Mobile One Loop Express inbox. And anybody can text at any time about anything. Again, what is on your sports mind? 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. And there's so much going on. It's good to be an Aggie sports fan, is it not? Buckyball taking care of business. Aggie Baseball perfection headed to Globe Life over the weekend. And then you have, yes, the Winter Olympic perfection of USA Hockey and more. 979-693-1150. Texas Mobile One Loop Express, where they say, be good to your car, and your car will be good to you. We'll be right back. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Built on faith, family, and community. That is CC Electric. It's the Louie Bellina Show, Monday on the Zone.
Make sure to get the podcast of TexAgs Live, the Louie Bellina Show, or Chip Howard Sports Talk Daily at zone1150.com and everywhere you get your podcasts.
The Louie Bellina Show inside the Charles Schwab studio. Time now. It's our Aggie Baseball listen-in. It's like the weekend in review, kind of in their words. Friday night, Shane Sdao, starting pitcher, second start. Simply brilliant. Talk about setting the tone for the entire weekend. Here's what he had to say.
Shane, you talked about wanting to be more sharp after your first start. So how did you feel today, and what did you think of your outing?
That's definitely more of who I am for sure. I felt very refreshed after this outing because I felt like I had all my stuff and I had what I needed to get done to go through those 7. Definitely could have gone more, but I think what was best for the team was Darden come in there and shut things down, which he did, and I'm very happy about today.
Is there a pitch or two that was really working for you tonight, you felt like?
Definitely cutter and sweeper. Those were probably my primary pitches tonight, and I threw a lot of those. Felt like they were on the heater a little bit, so we threw less of those, kind of pick and choose whenever I throw those, and yeah.
When you're coming, making your progress back through injury, to say that you're going to have a second start where you go 8, is that, pretty much best case scenario?
Yeah, I hold myself to a very high expectation and a very high standard, and I think that's part of the standard right there. It's definitely to go 7 or 8 every single outing, keep our team in it, and it's exactly what I did. I'm very proud of myself.
What felt different between this one and your last outing?
I think everything was kind of together. Heart rate was definitely down a little bit. I was more in control of myself, and everything was just working out for me.
So what's it like, pressure, stress, when you're doing your job but your offense just isn't able to crack through?
No, I think you kind of got to separate yourself in that aspect of things. Yes, it is a team sport, but whenever, they have good pitchers too. I'm not knocking them in any way, shape, or form, but we had great at-bats and just getting unlucky times. So, I just got to keep doing my thing, and eventually they're going to do it, and that's exactly what happened when we won this game. So.
Top of the 4th inning, you got out of a bases-loaded situation. How was that? How did that feel?
It was great. I gave up those 2 hits. That it was going to happen. It was bound to happen, and then I hit that guy. Just overthrew a sweeper, hit him, and I was pretty mad about that, to be honest, and knew I had to keep myself in it, and I got out of it, thankfully.
How'd you stay composed? There was some moments where they could get a run in, but y'all shut them down. How'd you stay composed throughout those?
We have one thing. It's one pitch at a time. Whenever you truly buy into one pitch at a time, then no matter who's on base, who's up to bat, if you're bought into one pitch, then you'll do great things.
You got a instance where you can get Stewart in there with the game on the line. Would you like to bring him in that?
I love Stewie coming in. I mean, he's a veteran guy. He's very, very low key, and I love that we put him in that situation for his first outing. Just throw him right into the fire, and he does what he does.
Anything else?
That was Shane Sdao after the Friday game. This is a listen-in Aggie Baseball on the Louie Bellina Show. Kind of the weekend that was, in their words, and we're going like picking who was the hero. Like Sdao Farr Saturday, down to a strike, ties at 9th, gets the walk-off in the 11th, and, well, this is what he said after the game Saturday.
Sawyer, take us through the at-bat in the 9th inning.
Yeah, coming off the bench, it's difficult to go in and execute, but I was just gathering information, saw 5 pitches. He came with that breaker on the first pitch and the third pitch, and I was just kind of hoping he came with it again, and he did, right in the spot where I wanted it, and, just crushed it.
How are you able to stay locked in and ready for the moment?
Yeah, I think it's credit to these coaches. They keep us ready at all times. They tell us to stay ready at all times, and, when Caden can't play because of that, whatever he's got going on, you just have to stay ready, especially whenever you're lacking a couple guys. You got to stay ready and make sure that you're ready for the moment.
How does it feel to get in on the Olsen magic, with Boston hitting that game winner last night, then today? How does it feel to get in on that Olsen magic and deliver the team a win?
Yeah, I'm a 4th generation Aggie, so I come to Olsen Field since I was a kid. It's a blessing to be a part of Olsen Magic, especially after last night. Everybody's like a little jealous. You want to be the hero, So it was a cool moment. It was really cool.
Michael talked a little bit about two-strike approach and that kind of lacking up until that point. Was there a message in the dugout being talked about that you were able to take to the plate to get that two-strike hit?
Yeah, it's a message that's been there all year. We're going to be a good two-strike hitting team today or this year. We weren't at all times today, but I just kind of stuck with the approach that we've been trying to execute all year, and just got lucky. He gave me my pitch and got to be a part of the moment.
You know it was fair off the bat?
I thought it was. Running down the line, I thought it was about this far fair, and then whenever they were reviewing it, I was like, man, that was a lot closer than I thought it was going to be.
You made a pretty good play in the field there in the 10th too. Just what was kind of through your mind, and just maybe where does that rank among some of the plays you've made in the field before?
Yeah, here that's got to be one of the best plays I've made in the infield for sure. But just wanting the ball at all times, just wanting the ball to come to you. That's something that Penny says, something that my dad's always taught me. If you don't want the ball, then you shouldn't be in the field. So I just wanted it, and it came to me, and I got to make a play.
Anything else?
When did Mike or whoever come to you tell you to get ready? What was that conversation like, and how do you get yourself ready in that moment?
Yeah, he told me, I think in the top of the 9th, he said get ready to hit, stay loose. You might run, might hit. So I was prepared for anything, man. I was just excited. I was blessed that he called on me. He had a lot of guys that he could have called on in that moment. And I was hoping it was me, and it was. And whenever he called my name, I told myself I wasn't going to miss the opportunity.
That was Sdao Farr after the Saturday game, the Aggie Baseball listen-in here on the Louie Bellina Show. It's like the weekend in review, in their words. We heard Shane Sdao after Friday, that's Sdao Farr. And here's Michael Earley after the win Sunday, after the sweep, and, well, everything he had to say.
Aiden Sims, what can you even say about him and how awesome that outing was?
Awesome. Throwing strikes, 4 pitches in any count. And when he gets out of it for a brief moment, he gets right back into it. Just very consistent. He's just a really, really good pitcher.
What does he provide this ball club, considering he doesn't look like a Sunday starter, at least in the early going?
Yeah, we hope we get to that, right? You're like, oh, that guy's on Sunday, but right now he's providing us with strikes and giving us a chance to win. And he's doing everything we've asked of him, and he's doing a really good job.
After the meeting and the message you had with the offense last night, what did you see from your unit today?
I thought they just, situationally hit really well. Two-strike approach was a lot better. And it's not only just a two-strike approach, not just taking pitches they can hit in the count. Like the idea of the offense is to swing at strikes and take balls. And yesterday we took the strikes and swung at the balls way too many times. And it's not always just about a strike. It's about a pitch you can handle. They swung at pitches they could handle when they could. And when they got the 2 strikes, they made adjustments to stay on baseballs. Yesterday was obviously not what we wanted, but like I've said before, this team's responded all year, and their response was great today.
Travis was obviously successful on the squeeze in the bottom of the 7th. How big of a role do you see the small ball playing in the future?
Yeah, when we got a chance to get a run and extend the lead, we're going to do it. Now, personnel is everything. Like, it's not really, if it's Gavin up or maybe Sorrell or someone like that, maybe not that situation. It has to be the right guy, but if we can get a run and we feel like the personnel's right and the look is right, we're gonna do it. So it's good.
Any update on Wesley Jordan? I know he didn't play today. Just any update on him?
Yeah, I just lower body injury. We'll see. He couldn't have played today, and I don't want to say it's day by day or what it is, but we're hopeful to get him back sometime this next week.
No Jordan, no Sorrell, no Hakopian. What have you learned about your team dealing with some early season injuries?
Yeah, it's unfortunate for those guys and everyone. We all want to see them play, and we're going to get them back at some point. It'll be good, but you got to be ready to play. And you never know when your number's going to get called. And you get into a season, it looks like you're buried back there in the lineup, and then all of a sudden you're Sdao Farr and you're up to bat when it matters the most, and you get it done. And he played great again today. So a resilient group. I mean, injuries are injuries, but there's no asterisk. You either win or you lose. So guys we put in there, we expect them to play well enough to win, and they've done that.
Coach, what made you go with Zane Becker behind the dish today, and what did you see from him today?
Yeah, I mean, Zane is right there, right? And we think he's a really good catcher too, and I think he can even be better with the bat. There's more in there. He showed more in practice and even in the scrimmages. So just, again, we don't want to crush any guy behind the plate if we feel like we've got two really good ones. So he did an awesome job back there, and you're going to continue to see him play. Those guys are competing, so we'll keep going. But I mean, Bear's a really good player. I think Bear's going to play a lot better than he's played. Nothing with him not playing today has anything to do with swinging the bat, because he's going to swing the bat just fine, and he's catching phenomenally. So we just wanted to get him off his feet and get Zane back there because we feel comfortable with him back there as well.
Back to pitching, I believe there was no free passes issued by your staff the entire weekend.
Yeah, 29 innings.
What do you make of that, and what is this pitching staff capable of as you move forward?
Anytime pitchers throw strikes, don't walk anyone at all or hit anyone at all, they just give you a chance to win. And then when you do that and you throw some good stuff up there and they get deep in games, they really give you a chance to win. So if it wasn't for those guys, we don't win either of those first two ball games. No doubt in my mind. I mean, clear as day. Those guys kept us in the game. They got deep in the game. They allowed us to set up the bullpen. Allowed us to have pretty much a full bullpen today. They're doing a really good job.
Anything else? Nico Partita 3 for 4 at the plate today. What can you say about him so far this season?
For a freshman, he's a really, really good player. When he has a great approach, and he shot that single on the right center field gap, and then that guy hung a breaking ball, pulled it 108 miles an hour on a day where it's really tough to hit a home run to left field. He's super talented. When he controls the strike zone and swings at the pitches he wants to swing at, he can be as good as anyone. So he's a good player. We expect him to keep getting better, and I thought he did a really nice job at third base today as well.
What we got? Thank you, Coach.
That wraps up our Aggie Baseball Listen-In. Our Aggie Baseball Listen-In. We started with Sdao from Friday, Sdao Farr from Saturday, Michael Early after the Sunday. Everything they had to say in their words. Sdao, I thought, set the tone. And, of course, Sdao Farr was I think, the hero of the weekend. So many, especially on that pitching staff. And we'll say one more time, do not forget the bullpen. Starters were epic. Aiden Sims, what a start. What a start. What a way to build the confidence and to learn. OJT, baby, on the job training. Absolutely phenomenal. And the week ahead, Tuesday, tomorrow night, you got Lamar. And then Friday, it's 6-1 Va-Tech, number one team in the country, UCLA Saturday. And then undefeated 7-0 Arizona State. We'll see if they're undefeated heading to Globe Life. They got Tuesday against OU in Norman, and then Wednesday in Norman against OU too. So they'll come in a little more battle tested, but big weekend. Let's see where everybody's at. The Louie Bellina Hope. Let's have a healthy weekend. Where's Hakopian going to be at? Where's Caden Sorrell going to be at? Because the biggest story people don't talk about from Aggie Baseball last year, starting injured, staying injured, getting more injured, on top of all the other struggles last year. Did nobody involved in last year's story any favors, did they? 979-693-1150. 979-693-1150. You can light up the Texas Mobile and Loop Express inbox. Questions, comments, opinions. Aggie Baseball, Aggie Basketball. A small thing. Aggie Basketball put out the official email April 18th, 1 o'clock will be the spring game. Your thoughts heading towards spring football. It's kind of anything goes with the Texas Mobile and Lube Express inbox. When we return, hour one is done. This is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric. Free estimates, they do that. Military and veteran discounts, they have that. They're CC Electric.
Sign up for the Zone newsletter and be in the know about community events, contests, prizes, the guest lineup that day, and more.
I love it.
Sign up at zone1150.com.
It is the Louie Bellina Show, presented by CC Electric, the Louie Bellina Show on a Monday. We're about 9 minutes away from Mitch Light of the Athletic College Baseball Roundup. It's what he does for the Athletic. He does their top 25. We'll look at it. Aggies debuted. I'll give you a heads up, sneak peek on that. A&M Baseball debuted this week in the Athletic top 25. Also, he does their college baseball roundup. So Mitch Light of the Athletic on the D4 Land Services hotline. If you ever need a metal building, a custom metal building from the ground up, check out d4landservices.com. d4landservices.com. In the time we have left together here in hour number one, we're headed towards the high school sports update. That's about 11:56. High school sports update is thanks to Kelly Burt Dozer. But as we head towards that, I kind of wanted to jump into the lifestyles portion of the Louie Bellina Show. Have you ever heard of Dunkin' Donuts? They're doing this test with 48-ounce buckets of iced coffee. It's only in a handful of locations in New England. They're twice the size of a venti at Starbucks. These 48-ounce iced coffee comes in a bucket. And I thought with it being in a bucket, it would be like a share thing. No. These are for one. They're not meant to be shared. There's a hole in the lid for one straw. So this is 48-ounce buckets, a bucket of coffee, iced coffee for one. Now, I'm not the biggest coffee drinker in the world, but to be fair, about early last year, I had a coffee in the morning, and I'm starting to notice that it's becoming too common. I would really like to stop. I think I'm getting addicted. It's bad. Bad, because it's expensive. Bad. These Dunkin' Donuts 48-ounce buckets, they're too big for a cup holder. No one knows that they're going nationwide, but here, being a non-coffee expert of any kind in the universe, to be clear with you, right? So I have minimal expertise in this area, but is it safe to say that 48 ounces, one person, might be a skosh too much? And anybody yes, no on this one? People that are way more coffee expert than I, but 48 ounces strikes me. $10, by the way. The bucket of Dunkin' Donuts iced coffee bucket. It doesn't come in a cup of any kind. It's a bucket. That does strike me as, for one, maybe it's a skosh too much. Lifestyles portion of the Louie Bellina Show. This made me chuckle. You know, one of those internet lists that pop up from time to time, and it was the top things that customer service workers wish you'd stop saying. Top 10 things customer service workers wish you'd stop saying, like, keep it short on the phone when a receptionist answers your call. Don't go into your full life story. Say, I need to speak to someone about X. Because she's the receptionist. She's just directing traffic. She can't diagnose you. This is things that customer service workers wish you'd stop doing. They wish that you would listen to my instructions and let me finish. It'll save us both a lot of time. This one is fascinating. Don't lick your fingers to separate bills or anything you hand me. Fascinating. Don't throw money on the counter to pay. It's disrespectful. If you are rude to staff and don't like a policy, just don't come back. Don't abandon cold or frozen items on a random shelf. Put it back where you got it from or hand it to the cashier, another employee. And this is one of those internet lists. Top things that customer service workers wish you'd just stop doing. They wish that people would understand that refunds take time. They're not 60 seconds or less. Quote, if I tell you about a new rule the store is enforcing to stop customers from taking advantage of the system, don't yell at me. In fact, you probably contributed to it being made in the first place. That seems a little harsh on the back end where, yeah, I get it. Don't yell at me. I work here. That I understand, but the whole, you probably contributed to it, that's that one step too far. This one, oh boy, stop bringing your phony service animal. Whoa, whoa, whoa. And finally, I don't know if there was in any order, but no, we do not give discounts because you've been shopping with us for a long time. I got some text messages that made me laugh. Like, does the bucket come with a dozen donuts? Nope. $10 for a bucket of 48 ounces of coffee. And then Peruna and College Station, Louie, the good news is you probably won't go back for a second cup. No, it's 48 times 2. I hate math.
I'm Caleb Rapley with your high school sports update on The Zone, brought to you by Kelly Burt Dozer. In high school basketball, the A&M Consolidated boys team is gearing up for their first-round matchup against Kingwood Park tomorrow night. The Kingwood Park Panthers went 21-10 overall this season. They were 9-3 in district play, 5A Region 3 District 18. The matchup between A&M Consolidated and Kingwood Park takes place at 7 p.m. on Tuesday night at Magnolia West High School. On the girls' side, the A&M Consolidated Lady Tigers had their season come to an end as they lost to LaPorte 63-28 in the second round of the playoffs. College Station got a win in their area round matchup against Westbrook. The Lady Cougars came home with a 48-36 W. In the third round, the regional semifinals, they will be taking on Hendrickson. In high school softball, all of our local teams were in action this past weekend at various tournaments. A&M Consolidated went to Cypress for a doubleheader, playing Game 1 against Friendswood and losing 8-5, but beating Sdao Farr in their second game 12-7. College Station had a busy weekend. They played 6 games at the Humble ISD tournament down in the Houston area. They went 2-4 in those matchups. Rudder played a tournament in Jourdanton. They went 0-3 against Lavernia, Devine, and Poth. Bryan participated in the Haney Spirit tournament in Pearland, Texas. They went 0-3 against Dobie, Texas City, and Cypress Woods. In high school baseball, it was an eventful weekend at the College Station ISD tournament. Highlights including College Station getting a walk-off 4-3 win over Rudder, and both A&M Consolidated and College Station knocking off the number 8 team in the state, Friendswood. Bryan was at the Waco ISD tournament, and it was a great showing for the Vikings as they